Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to your weekly dose of newsy infotainment. It's Let's Be Treasonable, coming to you from the luxurious studios of Radio Titans in Los Angeles, with your cognitive dissidents on the panel this week. Comedian, scholar, the black voice of reason, Mr. Tymon, Shipp.
Power to the people. There's a lot of mental illness in our world.
Boy, howdy. And some of it on display here today, because I am Dr. David Robinson. I don't know what I am anymore, but we'll stick with your Vin Scully of the impending apocalypse, because it might have gotten a little closer this week, and we will be talking about that and more momentarily. But first, a word from our invisible panelist, Mr. Will Durst, who joins us every week through the magic of pre-recorded sound and telephony. It is five-time Emmy nominee Will Durst with this week's Burst of Durst.
Hey guys, Will Durst here with a few choice words about the storm clouds gathering around Team Trump. The tempest is dark and swirly, like one of those nor'easters that has ravaged New England the last couple of months. A pattern of individual flurries have begun to take on bulk and velocity, and threaten to enter blizzard territory. And since the only permanent member of Team Trump is the Donald himself, the squall is headed straight down Pennsylvania Avenue with the White House in its crosshairs. Former FBI Director James Comey's new book calls the occupant of the Oval Office not just a liar, but an orange, unethical, dangerous mob boss liar with tiny hands. The raid on the offices of Trump's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, which seized records and perhaps recordings, has staffers quivering like a shaved poodle taped to the foul pole of Wrigley Field during a night game in April. Bimbo eruptions are multiplying like thunderheads on the horizon, including one coincidentally named Stormy, raising questions about whether paying to kill a story might constitute illegal campaign contributions. And although his sentence was commuted by George W. Bush, Scooter Libby was never pardoned for his convictions of perjury, obstruction of justice, and lying to the FBI. So it seems that President Trump plans to change that situation, signaling to his buddies that he doesn't think those crimes are very important. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan seems to be not just ditching the ship, but also the pier and the entire harbor itself. And, don't forget, Mueller is coming. Mueller is coming. And it can't be very comforting that Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller looks a lot like the Night King from Game of Thrones. Donald Trump should be seeking a dragon right about now. For Let's Be Treasonable, I'm Will Durst.
Thank you very much, Will. Some great points there. It has been a crazy week, even for what we've become used to with Trump. I was thinking about this last night as I was getting topics and things together for the show today. It has been such a crazy week. I almost forgot the week started with a tenant of Trump Tower in New York dying in a fire on one of the floors of the tower that doesn't have sprinklers.
Yes. He didn't. Here's a guy that's still, treating his own Trump Towers like it's the projects and shit. Why don't you have sprinklers?
Apparently, because he fought against having safety measures in the upper floors, and apparently there is some law that his building was grandfathered in. So much like Trump, with the tower, the sprinklers don't go all the way up, so to speak. But it's funny. I do want to bring this up because one of the things we're going to be talking about today is what all this says about the president's character, and we'll mention the fact that pardoning Scooter Libby is meant to send a signal to the co-conspirators in the collusion that, hey, I got your backs. You guys better not flip on me.
But I mean, you went that far back to go. I haven't heard Scooter Libby's name. Well, it's still a shock that someone would name their kid Scooter.
Well, it's a nickname.
I understand that. Still, the fact that you're a grown-ass man and your name is Scooter. Come on, man. That's like Pookie in the hood. I mean, what's your name, man? Pookie.
But presumably the difference is Scooter doesn't have Scooter tattooed across his belly. Whereas with Pookie,
Well,
you
I
never know.
about- yeah,
Not to go with stereotypes, but the likelihood is greater in the Pookie situation for the belly tattoo.
There
That's
is
all I'm
Pookie
saying.
Whittington, though, who is one of the managers for Kevin Hart. His name is Pookie. And he has no intentions of changing it. And so here Scooter is. You went that far back into the digging. Well, what can we find? Oh, hey, let's dig up Scooter. I didn't even know Scooter never went to jail, did he?
No. Well, that was the thing. Bush didn't give him a pardon, but he did commute his prison sentence.
Okay.
And for those who may be too young or have had other things going on in their lives in the past, 15 years?
Yeah.
Scooter Libby was Dick Cheney's assistant, lapdog, whatever you want to call him. And he leaked the identity of a CIA agent.
Right.
In order to try and protect the Bush administration and their false claims regarding yellow cake uranium that Iraq was and Saddam Hussein were allegedly looking for in, was it Sudan? It was somewhere in Africa.
Yeah.
Niger, maybe? I don't know.
One of those black countries.
It's that long ago. Well, it's funny because on a more personal level, I remember tanking a set at the Improv largely because I opened with a joke that was framed around Scooter Libby. I misread the crowd, thought it was a political crowd, thought they knew what was going on. Turns out they just liked comedians who yell, "Yeah, fuck Bush."
Yeah.
So it's on me. I'm not going to be one of those guys who, oh man, there was a crap house tonight. It's like, no. I misread the audience, went into something that had a little more depth than maybe they were expecting.
And they still say Bush is crap. That's what they. So it worked.
Yeah, but
that joke would still work today. If you
the thing was, it was really an ass rape joke, framed in politics, and it's one of those things. As a comedian, when you are on stage and you're doing your set, you do have kind of an internal monologue running.
Yeah.
And as I was on stage doing this joke, no one was getting up and leaving, but it was like the old Max Fleischer Popeye cartoons where it was just someone was running out onto their face and drawing the shades that were their eyelids. It was like the lights were going out in eyes around the room. And internally, I'm just like, no, it's an ass rape joke. Stick around. I know you guys like ass rape jokes. And so didn't happen. But I'm trying to remember. The train has become so derailed. Where were we going with this?
We were going with that. Trump's how he started the week off. He went from the Trump Towers, and then now he's Scooter Libby.
So I've seen a lot of people on the social media, on the Twitter, saying how horrible it is that when the fire was put out, and before they found the corpse of the guy in his apartment at Trump Tower, Trump was tweeting, "Yep, fire extinguished quickly, great construction, awesome building." Not a surprise coming from him, but there are people who are upset that he has yet to address the fact that someone who was stuck in that building because they couldn't get anyone to buy their condo because it is in Trump Tower and the name is indicative of the flaming dumpster fire that our country is becoming.
Right.
But people are upset that he has not addressed the fact that one of his tenants died. And I'm certainly not justifying it, because the man is a monster. But it's one of those things like, I understand why he wouldn't, because he is inhuman and unfeeling. But I don't know. I don't remember who told me this, but some of the sound life advice that you pick up along the way. Someone told me if you're ever in a car accident, once you establish that you're all right, never apologize to the other person. Ask if they're okay, be human, but do not say anything that a lawyer would be able to twist into a statement of culpability. Mm-hmm. That's where we are as a society. So the idea that Donald Trump has not acknowledged that one of his tenants at Trump Tower died in a fire because largely Trump fought against having sprinklers on those floors, he's not talking, presumably, because it will fuck up his chances to sue this man's family and estate for causing the fire.
Wow.
I mean, this is not a suit that has been filed yet.
Right.
Just my prediction,
Right.
knowing how Trump operates, we will see a lawsuit.
Right. He seems like more guys of like working at my job in probation. You will file. They'll say, "Hey, go ahead, sue us," but by the time you get your money, you'll be broke. Mm-hmm. You'll be so starved out, and that's what he's gonna.
That's what he has done constantly with threatening lawsuits, and he knows he just needs to draw it out because he's got enough money to screw people over using
one thing about this thing, because Mueller keeps digging and digging and digging, and they keep popping up with these different guys, is that one thing they're finding out is that I bet you Mueller knows about his finances and everything else about this dude by now.
Oh, absolutely.
And that he is not a billionaire.
Well, and this coming out of that issue. I said there's going to be a lawsuit. The caveat is that it might take a while because Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, in more trouble this week. I think it was McClatchy ran a report saying that Mueller has proof that Cohen went to Prague for a meeting with Kremlin insiders, let's call them, to discuss, hey, one hand has washed one back. Now the other hand must do some washing. So he went to Prague to work out the details of washing backs. Now, he had previously stated, I never went to Prague. Tweeted. I think he went as far as saying, I don't even like prog rock. Which, if you listen to the new Yes re-release of an album that came in, he may have a point there. But this is one of the things that was alleged in the Steele dossier. So if this is true, this is kind of like looking at the predictions of Nostradamus and going, well, wow, that one's come true and that one's come true. And
well, he said that, let's drain the swamp. Mueller's
he's draining it into the White House. Mueller is actually pulling the plug.
He's actually the one draining. And you said, well, we're going to, Hillary the Clinton, that's, lock her up. She's a criminal. It's like, dude, your people are the ones that are getting locked up.
Absolutely.
Your people are the ones that are getting exposed. But Dave, as I sit and, every time I turn on the television, it's something new. They still are not going to stop backing this dude. I sit at my lounge, and you got guys that are still, they're buying into it.
Oh no, and they will keep parsing, because Pat
Labrario.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's a comedian. He anything that comes up on Trump. Anything that comes up on Trump, hey, this guy, he's had major battles on Facebook because, and I never knew he was a Trump supporter, but now I know. You got comedians out there who think this guy is the real deal Holyfield.
Well, we are all damaged in some way. That's what leads us into comedy.
Yeah.
How damaged and in what way is, the details are important.
Yeah. But it's like I said, I think the whole all the things that are happening. There's always, when something comes up on Trump, they'll pull something else to try to distract the people to take their thoughts someplace else.
Really, something like what? I don't know, a bombing campaign in Syria.
Yeah, even people who's the psychopath that's on. That was.
There's so many to choose from.
Well, the one that said, hey, that they have anti-abortion clinics at the pizza place or something. What was that the guy?
Oh, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones hates his guts now. He says, "Oh, what the hell are you bombing Syria for?" He's pissed off at Trump. You haven't heard from Rush. Where's Rush Limbaugh on all this? Rush hasn't opened his mouth.
Really? Not like I listened for the clarion call
but
there.
And Sean Hannity's about the only one out there standing up for him. And Sean was attacking Jimmy Kimmel like he wanted to step outside and whoop his ass.
Yeah, well, in his latest, that's one of the great things about Trump is watching these icons of the right-wing propaganda